When people talk about Call of Duty Zombies, they often think of the wild chaos, the Easter eggs, the gods, the multiverse, and the wonder weapons. But before the timelines, before the punchlines, there was something else. Something colder, something quieter, and something far more terrifying. World at War Zombies wasn't built to entertain you. It was built to unnerve you, to trap you, to make you sweat and panic and question what the hell you just stumbled into. There were no tutorials, there was no fanfare, no second chances, just 4 maps, 4 nightmares, and 1 atmosphere that changed gaming horror forever. World at War was already one of the darkest Call of Duty titles to date. A gritty, brutal portrayal of World War II drenched in blood and hopelessness. And yet, tucked at the very end of the campaign, was something that no one expected. No press release, no warning, and then suddenly, the screen fades in. You're in a dark, crumbling bunker where the wind howls through broken windows and your pistol feels like a toy. You're alone. You don't know why you're here, you don't know what's coming, and then you hear it, a groan, followed by footsteps. That first experience with Nacht der Untoten, it was more than just a surprise mode. It was an ambush. No objective, no context, pure, raw fear. And the terrifying part? It worked better than anybody could have imagined. The atmosphere of World at War Zombies owes everything to its sound design. There is no music, no score to guide your emotion, no upbeat themes to remind you this is just a game. Instead, silence. Until it isn't. You hear boards creaking, wind slipping through the cracks in the walls, the moan of something that shouldn't exist. Footsteps echo across tiles that haven't been walked on in decades. Then that screech, that violent tearing shriek that signals a new round is beginning. Now it doesn't hype you up, it warns you. Every audio cue in World at War Zombies is abrasive. The gunshots are sharp, the reload click feels desperate, and even the points jingle sounds off. Zombies grunt, scream and snarl. They sound like they're in pain, like they remember something, like they hate you specifically. And when you die, you're not met with music, you're met with silence. Nacht der Untoten was claustrophobia in its purest form. You're boxed in, limited space, no real escape route, no perks, no help. Just 4 walls, 4 windows, and your nerves. Then came Verrückt, a German insane asylum with split spawn points, meaning you and your teammate could start the game completely separated. It introduced electricity, not to empower you, but to shock you. Powered doors don't feel like upgrades, they feel like a risk. The asylum is full of screams, blood, medical chairs, and torture remnants. And the zombies, they moved faster. They come sprinting, not stumbling. This isn't survival anymore. It's full-blown panic. Then, Shi No Numa, the swamp. The fog is thick, the space is open but misleading. It's full of water that slows you down, murky paths and unsettling lighting. This map doesn't corner you, it confuses you, and you never really know where safety is. And finally, Riese, the factory. It's bigger, smarter, colder, steel walkways with broken machines, German tech humming with the leftover energy from some terrible experiment. This isn't just a zombie outbreak anymore. This is deliberate, engineered, controlled. Something went wrong here, and you feel it. Each map is unique, but all of them share the same DNA. You aren't just fighting the undead, You're trapped in spaces that are already dead. Now, World at War zombies aren't cinematic monsters. They aren't stylized or goofy. They're downright tragic. Torn military uniforms, battered faces, dead, empty eyes. They don't just walk, they lurch and twist and snap. Some crawl with their legs blown off, and some are charred black from flames. Others stumble towards you like they're still clinging to a memory. They're grotesque in a realistic way. It's not just gore for gore's sake, it's rotting human decay, and that stays with you. The way they twitch, the way they scream, the way they fall apart when you shoot them, as if their body has finally given up. These zombies weren't meant to be boss fights. They were meant to feel like you're gunning down what's left of soldiers, prisoners, or victims, and it made you uncomfortable because it should. There is a story in World at War Zombies, but it never tells itself. It just kind of lingers. You see it in the scribbled chalk writing in Verrupt, messages from the mentally broken, and you can even hear it in faint radio broadcasts in Derise. Voices warning of Samantha, of Richtofen, of something terrible locked away. But no one reads you a script. There's no mission log, no waypoint. You uncover this lore accidentally, and it feels earned. The machines, the symbols, the drawings on the wall, they hint at Nazi experiments, scientific betrayal. A child's voice laughing in a German accent when you fail, and that pack-a-punch machine, it doesn't look like a bonus. It looks like a last resort, like it was never meant to be used. This is storytelling through environment, and it is genius. It lets your imagination do the heavy lifting, and somehow what you imagine is always worse. Now, even in the co-op, the atmosphere of World at War never lightens up. You don't feel empowered with teammates, you still feel outnumbered. You scramble for points, shouting over the voice chat, you're begging for revives while bleeding out on the floor. You watch as your last teammate runs circles, desperate to survive, and then dies anyway. There's no HUD comfort, there's no XP system, just survival and collapse. There's a hopelessness to World at War's multiplayer that newer titles haven't really recaptured. In later games, going down means a clutch comeback. In World at War, going down means it's probably over. That fear of failure was always looming because you knew it was coming, and somehow that made the moments of survival even more intense. And just when you thought you'd finally got the hang of things, round 6 hits. The sky turns red, the growling begins, and suddenly they're on you. Flaming, skeletal, twisted canines bursting through the fog like demons from another realm. The Hellhounds weren't just a gameplay twist. They were a reminder that this world was not bound by reality anymore. It wasn't just a zombie outbreak. This was a doorway to something worse, something ritualistic, something otherworldly. And the map didn't explain it. It was just thrown at you. And that's what World at War did best. It didn't introduce things, it unleashed them. Now, there's a strange truth about World at War zombies. You were not supposed to win. There was no victory screen, no final boss, no hey, you made it. The game always ended the same way. Dead, covered in blood, and restarting the cycle. And somehow, that made it more compelling. Every round you survived was stolen time, and every breath you took was borrowed. There were no heroes here, just ghosts, reliving the same nightmare over and over and over. Even the weapons in World at War Zombies felt wrong. In the best way. The MP40, it ran dry so fast. The trench gun missed one shot and you're dead. The PPSH, a blessing if you had the points. Nothing was futuristic, nothing was flashy, Every weapon felt like a relic, barely functional, and if you ran out of ammo, all you could do was knife and pray. Now, even in the game designed to make you feel powerless, there was one weapon that changed everything. The Wunderwaffe DG2, a lightning gun, a creation of mad science and German engineering straight out of a nightmare. The moment you held this weapon, the game shifted. The fear didn't vanish, but for once, you were the threat. And it didn't just kill the zombies, it ripped them apart. Chains of electricity dancing from one body to the next like a punishment from the heavens. It wasn't clean, it was violent, crude, brutal, and the sound it made, that heavy charge-up hum, it wasn't satisfying. It was ominous, like the gun itself knew it was strong, like it shouldn't exist. And then, when it ran dry, the fear came rushing back. The Wunderwaffe DG2 was never your saviour. It was a temporary illusion of control, a reminder that no matter how powerful you felt, you were still just another body in a world full of death. If you remember using the Wunderwaffe, then you will also remember zombies' most iconic weapon, the ray gun. Now, the ray gun wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol of hope, of mystery, of survival in the face of overwhelming death. If you were lucky enough to pull it from the mystery box, for a second, everything changed. That green glow, the sci-fi whir, the strange, otherworldly hum that didn't belong in a World War II bunker. It looked wrong, futuristic, alien, out of space, and that's what made this gun perfect. Because nothing in World at War Zombies was safe, and the ray gun, well, it was the first time you felt like you had a fighting chance. It disintegrated the undead like nothing else. Its sound was sharp, almost playful, but its impact was deadly. One shot and limbs were gone. Another and the entire horde collapsed at your feet. But there was always a price to pay. The splash damage, the small magazine, the panic of reloading at the wrong time. It wasn't a cheat code, it was a lifeline. One that frayed with every shot you took, and when you died, ray gun in hand, it somehow hurt more, because you were supposed to make it. You had one of the only things everybody wanted, and it still wasn't enough. That's what World at War taught you. No weapon, no matter how iconic, could stop the inevitable. It could only delay it. World at War Zombies was made to make you feel powerless, forgotten. And 15 years later, that feeling still lingers in our memories and in our nightmares. If this video brought you back to long nights on Riese or your first down in Nacht der Untoten, I'd love if you would leave a like and drop your favourite World at War memory in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives like this, and until next time, keep one in the chamber and don't trust the silence.